the game. While every other player scored with either their feet or their head, Maradona did not stop at just scoring with his feet and his head. He even scored with the hand of God. You remember the hand of God goal. So there is no way you want to talk of the history of football or the history of FIFA World Cup without a mention of Maradona. Truly an unforgettable name in the history of FIFA World Cup. Edson Arantes do Nascimento was named Player of the Century in year 2000 by FIFA. Joint winner with someone, and that person was Diego Armando Maradona. Of course, we all know that football is a team game, but Maradona represents the difference that a single player could make in a team. Even though the 1986 Argentine team that eventually lifted the trophy in Mexico was made up of other talented players like George Buruchaga, like Batista, and George Vardano. It is arguable if that team will have won the World Cup without the contribution of the iconic Diego Armando Maradona. His superlative goal against England in a semi-final match, when he single-handedly took the ball right from the center of the field, washed past 5 English players, dribbled the keeper and buried the ball in the net, remains one of the best goals ever seen. Welcome again to another edition of Name Vault, that podcast that is known for no other thing but looking into names, their meanings, their social and cultural significance and background, how well they are to be pronounced, their legacy, impact of some names. That is what we do on this podcast, and we do no other thing other than that. And together, when we are on this podcast, you know that we are going on a journey into the world of names, digging up facts about names, digging up facts that may never have been known before. In the last episode, we started looking at names, unforgettable names in FIFA World Cup history, because the FIFA World Cup fever is still on. The FIFA World Cup fever is still on. And so we are analyzing unforgettable names in World Cup history. Let's look at them once again. Where did we stop? We stopped at Nelson Mandela, and we said, yes, that was in the last episode, and we said that, yes, he deserves a place in that list of unforgettable names in FIFA World Cup history, because as Africans, he was the person that influenced the hosting of the first edition of World Cup on African soil after 80 years of the existence of FIFA World Cup. So we know that Mandela truly deserves a place in this list of unforgettable names in FIFA World Cup history. Now we go. The next name we want to look at is the one that is World Cup. No younger person has won the World Cup. No younger person than Pele has ever won the World Cup, and he won the World Cup for 1998. The International Olympics Committee listed Pelé as the greatest athlete of the century, of the 20th century. And in year 2000, the International Federation of Football Statistics and History named him as the player of the century. In the same year 2000, FIFA itself named Pelé and Diego Armando Maradona as joint winners of the player of the century. So you know now that there is no way with the one everybody knows as Pelé. We go to the next name. The next name is equally a great name in the history of FIFA World Cup. I mentioned when I mentioned just a while ago that Edson Arantes do Nascimento was named Player of the Century in year 2000 by FIFA. Joint winner with someone. And that person was Diego Armando Maradona. Of course, we all know that football is a team game. But Maradona represents the difference that a single player could make in a team. Even though the 1986 Argentine team that eventually lifted the trophy in Mexico was made up of other talented players like George Buruchaga, like Batista, and George Vardano. It is arguable if that team will have won the World Cup without the contribution of the iconic Diego Armando Maradona. His superlative goal against England in a semi-final with either their feet or their head. Maradona did not stop at just scoring with his feet and his head. He even scored with the hand of God. You remember the hand of God goal. So there is no way you want to talk of the history of football or the history of FIFA World Cup without a mention of Maradona. Truly an unforgettable name in the history of FIFA World Cup. And I go to the next one. You may have forgotten his name, but you cannot forget his piercing eyeballs, glittering bald head, and his school headmaster-like commanding posture while handling the whistle on the field. I'm talking of the Italian referee, Pierluigi Collina. Pierluigi Collina was about the most famous referee of the game. And till date, so many football fans will still not forget Pierluigi Collina. Quite an unforgettable name in the history of the game. The next thing we are going to look at is the name of a man that was named, the German that was named the Kaiser, meaning the Emperor. He won the cup as a player in 1974 and as a coach in 1990. I am talking of the one known as Franz Beckenbauer. He was one of only 10 players to have won the World Cup, the European Championship, and Ballon d'Or. He was also very influential to Germany hosting the World Cup in the year 2006. So one of the names that you cannot forget when you talk of the history of the World Cup is Franz Beckenbauer, the Kaiser. The next person that we are going to look at is a German. It's a player. He may not have the dazzling skill of a Maradona or the youthful greatness of Pelé or the genius of Beckenbauer, but this player, this German player, has something that none of them has. Till date, he remains the highest goal scorer in World Cup history with 16 goals. He also has to his credit the highest number of World Cup wins, 17 in all. And he also remains the highest goal scorer, 71 goals for his country, Miroslav Klose. I'm talking of the German Miroslav Klose. Klose, apart from all his exploits, apart from his exploits in goal scoring, Klose is also a player that can be called a quintessential sportsman. In a club match, he was credited to have walked up to the referee to tell him that the goal that he scored, even without the referee knowing, was scored with his hand, and that goal was disallowed. How many footballers will do that? So Miroslav Klose is one player whose name remains unforgettable in the history of the game. Another thing that Klose has is that he has the highest combination of medals. He won gold, he won silver, and he won four bronze medals from the World Cup. So when you talk of the combination of medals Klose has it more than any other player. So there is no way you want to talk of FIFA World Cup history without a mention of the name of Miroslav Klose, the German player. And while other players created their image through one edition magical performance, Miroslav Klose scored in 4 different World Cups. He exhibited his goal-scoring prowess in 4 different World Cup editions. So that makes Klose one of the unforgettable names in World Cup history. It's a long list of names, so there is no way we can exhaust the list in one single episode of the Name Vault. So today, we will just pause. I'm not saying that we are closing. Yes, Name Vault will close just temporarily, because next episode we will also resume with more unforgettable names. Don't forget that the World Cup will be on for 6 whole weeks. So if we dedicate 2-3 episodes of Name Vault to unforgettable names, great names, like I've said, names that built, names that envisioned, names that led, names that created. On this podcast, we lay no claim to any form of perfection, neither do we lay any form of claim to monopoly of knowledge. We just look at names and then as far as we can understand them, and then we give our perspectives. If you have anything that can enrich what we are doing, we are so open. We welcome you with open arms to take your contribution. And I always say that, you know, that behind, every name has a meaning, every name has a heritage, and in every name is a compressed history, in every name is a compressed spirituality, and in every name is a compressed worldview. Have you discovered yours? If you haven't, please do and treasure it. And your name is an invaluable asset. Please protect and guard it so jealously. You can come put it in a vault. Till next time, when we continue on this analysis of unforgettable names in FIFA World Cup history. My name is Ademola Ben Cranston Adegoke. So long.